Hi, I'm Cole Tanner. Today I want to talk to you about what is success worth to you. So let's put a number on it. What I want to talk about today, and really what I want you to think about is what do you spend your money on? Why do you spend your money on it? And what's the benefit of the gear that you're getting? So I'm going to go through a conversation that I've had, more times than I can remember over the years with men and women that are on the fence about using Ozonics. And I would ask you to follow along with me on this. So if I were to ask you to go out hunting tomorrow morning in your favorite spot, and the deer that you're after is going to step out and you're going to rattle or grunt, and that buck's going to come in and he's going to circle downwind, I would ask you, what's going to happen? And again, pre Ozonics, just like me before, I would look at you and say, just like everybody does, that deer's going to win me. And I would say, okay, you just told me that if you went out with all your gear and you got a deer on the downwind side, they were going to win you. Your experience has taught you that when you get deer on the downwind side, they win you. And then I would ask you, how much money do you carry in the woods with you? And then that's usually when you're going to get a big glare from your wife. But let's actually go through it. Okay. So, you're shooting a Matthews V3, got $1,000 wrapped up in the bow. All the accessories, arrows, everything on the bow, you got another $1,000. You're using high-end camo, good camo. You got another $1,000 wrapped up into that. Between optics, rangefinder, boots, you got another $500. Tree stand, you've got $250 wrapped up into that. And then again, you're not using Ozonics, but your other scent, passive scent control type stuff, sprays, shampoos, conditioners, all under insurance, you got $100. So you've got $3,850 wrapped up into all your gear. Okay, $3,850. But when you get deer on the downwind side, they win you. Okay. Now let's go through the other scenario. Me, I'm more of the average guy. I've got an old used bow from a buddy, $500. All my accessories, all rickety raggedy, $500. Faded out camo. My buddies call me the camo collage. So I've got 250 wrapped up into that. Old optics, binos, old boots, $200. I'm sitting in a tree stand, probably is $100, but I've got an Ozonics setup. I've got 650 wrapped up into that. Same scenario. I rattle or grunt, that buck steps out and he circles downwind. But for me, and I wouldn't be the guy to tell you every single time, but 8 out of 10 times when I get deer on the downwind side, I get away with it, right? They walk right through, and that shot opportunity that I've been waiting for presents itself. And that's the interesting thing that I would tell you when it really comes down to it. When it comes to bow hunting, we are trying to get closer to the animals. It's a game of close. We're trying to close that distance. It's really all about that 25 and under. And I would challenge you and encourage you to think about all the gear that you use and ask yourself, what gets me closer to animals? And for me, nothing sits in front of my Ozonics. For me, what I've learned over the years is that with an Ozonics, I have seen more deer, I have more opportunity, and I am more successful because of that unit. I talk to buddies all the time that are looking at new gear, maybe it's a bow or certain camo, whatever it might be. And, they're like way off the deep end. They're not at the $3,800 mark. They're at $5,000, all the gear that they're carrying with them in the woods. And the thing that I always say is like, man, do you have an Ozonics? And so like, oh, well, and it's funny because if you really think about it, I ask them, what's actually getting you closer to the animals? Because I'm telling you what, you can wave that new bow up in the air or show them your new camo. That deer doesn't care. They smell you, they're gone. The reality is that for me, the only gear that's actually getting me closer to the deer is an Ozonics. And I know it sounds like a sales pitch, but I'd be the first to tell you, if Ozonics weighed 50 pounds, lasted a year, and cost $1,000, I'd be buying one every year, and I'd probably be sleeping in the garage because my wife would be so mad. But I don't really care. That's what it's done for me. That's my experience with Ozonics has taught me that I can get away with things that I've never been able to get away with. I've been able to push the envelope and take advantage of situations that I never could before with all the rest of my gear. So I would just really encourage you, as you're thinking about new gear moving into the next year, and you start to think about what you spend your money on, why you spend your money on, and the benefit of that gear, really ask yourself, what gets me closer to the deer? And I think when you ask yourself that hard question, you're only going to have one answer, and that's Ozonics. Thanks for watching our video today on what success is worth to you. If you have any more questions, don't be afraid to give us a call at 979-285-2401 or check out our website at ozonicshunting.com. Thanks again, and good luck out there.